What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be hunting a $25 box of pennies, bank wrapped rolls from Brinks. I've already opened them because one of the things you want to do before you buy that box and take it home is make sure that you don't have an entire box of brand new pennies, and we've got some copper enders already, so I'm excited to get into these pennies. So we're not going to delay any further. We're going to get these pushed back and we're going to get into these rolls. So if you are new to coin roll hunting, especially coin roll hunting pennies, I did want to stop here and just let you know there's a couple of things you're going to want, especially if you have old eyes like me. You're going to want some kind of scale because copper pennies weigh 3.1 grams and zinc pennies weigh 2.5, give or take. And you're going to need some sort of magnification, whether it be a jeweler's loupe, some sort of magnifying glass, or I use a digital pluggable scope from Amazon. And I have links to these two things in the description down below this video. It is my affiliate link, and I do make a couple of bucks on, or not a couple of bucks, it's really a couple of cents on every sale. It's not a whole lot of money, but if you're in the market for those things, please consider using my link. With that said, we will be hunting pennies today. I've got a document in the description down below this video that talks about all the things we're going to be looking for, but the main things will be really old pennies like Indian heads and wheat cents. But there's all kinds of mint errors, and we will be pulling all the copper out of these rolls. And copper, a lot of times you can tell just by the color of the edges, but you should always check the date. 1982 was a split year, so some are going to be zinc, some are going to be copper, but anything before that date will be copper. And copper is worth 2 to 3 cents per penny right now. So I hoard all my copper in these penny hunts, and I just throw it in buckets, or I have little boxes of these things. With that said, I'm going to start hunting through these pennies. As soon as I find something, you'll be the first to know. So we just busted into roll number 3, and just so you guys know, the copper's coming pretty well. That's the copper from roll 1 and 2. But wanted to bring you in here for roll 3. We have our first foreign of the hunt. It is looks like a 1963 Canadian. We'll put that up on the board, and in like roll 1 or 2, I did have a 2009 early childhood. And that was a special year. They did 4 commemorative reverses on that thing. So a lot of people collect them. I go ahead and pull them just to show how many I find, because we typically don't find that many. But they are kind of collectible. So I'll pull them and keep count of how many we have. I do see a lot of coppery looking coins in here. And if I happen to find some Wheaties, I'll bring you back in. We're on roll 7. And I'm bringing you in really for 2 things. One, we have another Canadian, 1974. But even better than that was hiding right behind it. Could see it when I spread them out, a wheat penny. And this looks like an oldie. If you've been following my channel, I don't get a lot of wheat pennies. And when I do, they're usually 50s. Every now and then we get into the 40s. This looks pretty well worn. Look at that, a 1920. And it looks a little off-center. If you look at the bottom of that, but maybe that's just the way it wore. But that's a nice find. That's probably going to be a book filler for me. And I didn't mention at the beginning of this video, but we are trying to fill out a penny album. And this has got to be a book filler. I don't get a lot of 20s era pennies. So very cool. First wheat penny and the oldest wheat penny in a long time. So we are all the way up to roll 27. And we finally have our next wheat penny. And it was obverse facing when I found it. 1946. I'm pretty sure I already have this one in the book. But another wheat penny for the board. That makes 2. I have found at least 1 or 2 more Canadians on the way. And I think at least one of these Lincolns since I last brought you in. Copper's doing okay. I got a little cup of copper going. And I've been keeping track of how many coppers in each roll. So this was the beginning of roll, I think, 20. So we're making our way through this box. We're on roll 33. It's been a real slow hunt, and I just got it open. I'll go through it. It looks like I've got a fair number of coppers in here and a couple of real dark ones. Kind of interested in checking those out. We have our first dime of the hunt. Let's see what year it is. 1996 Philly. Too bad it wasn't that W. I'll go ahead and go through these pennies off camera and bring you in. Lately, it's just been tons and tons of copper. Not anything too interesting. So we'll let you know if we find any Wheaties in all of this. We are on roll 38, and we have our next wheat penny. It was reverse facing. Doesn't look to be in too bad a shape. It is a 1957D to make our third wheat penny of the box. Just cracked into roll 39, and I should have checked the enders before I pulled the paper because we actually had a wheat penny ender, 1940. Fourth wheat penny on the box. We're on roll 46, and we have our fifth wheat penny of the box, and it was obverse facing. It is a 1944 D, which does have a D over S. I feel like you'd be able to see that here just on camera as close as I am. But we'll put it under the scope here. Let's check it out. Does not appear to be the D over S. Well, that is the end of the box, and it was a pretty slow one. To recap things really quickly here, we did have 4. I only have 3 up here, but we had 4 of the 2009s. We had 2 of the, I think these are the formative years, and 2 of the early childhoods. But one of the early childhoods will be an upgrade for the book because, and actually let me back out here, you can see this is the third book in the series that goes from 1975 through 2013. And my 2009D early childhood is really beat up, so that's going to be an upgrade for me there. We did end up with a couple of small head and a couple of large head Canadian cents. They range from like 1964 to 2002. These are, you know, they're whatever 90 or 95% copper. I keep all my foreign coppers. I just throw them in a bin. We did end up with 5 Wheaties, and the nice thing is, and we'll look at them in the books here, we had a 1920, we had a 1940. Let me back out a little bit. I'm too close. A 1946, a 1944, and they're out of order, and a 1957D. These 2 down here on the bottom are actually going to be either book fillers or upgrades, which is really nice. And we did end up with 1 dime. On top of that, I did also have an upgrade for my 2002, and it's ever so slightly an upgrade just to show you guys. There's my existing 2002, and it's got just some marks on it. So we'll pop those out and we'll upgrade those. I'll do that off camera, but just wanted to show you guys. When we get into the wheat pennies, as I said, this is the 1909 book, so it goes from 1909 to 1940S. And we do have a 1944D. Ooh, that goes in the other book. Sorry, I'm actually looking at this 1920, and you can see that that spot is empty. So that's the only thing that's going to go in here. I think my 1940 that I had above is already filled, and that's what I was going to show you guys over here on the bottom end of the book. The last book is coming together. Okay, this is from 1941 through 1974. And as I said, I do have this one 1944 Denver. And let's see here, where is that? 1945, 1944 Denver. And that's going to punch in right there. So we got a couple of book fillers and we got a couple of replacements, which is always good. The books are coming together. Unfortunately, lately in Georgia, the wheat pennies are few and far between. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, we did end up with about half of a solo cup full of copper in that hunt. Came out to 2.22 pounds of copper, which at today's melt price on copper is about $7.68, maybe 69 cents. So not a bad little haul of copper in a single box of pennies. Back to the wrap up. So with that said, I'm going to sign off here. I'll get these things upgraded in the book. I hope you enjoyed this one, even though we didn't have as many finds as I was hoping to. But it is what it is. We show you what the boxes produce. If you like this video, consider dropping down below, clicking that like button. While you're down there, click on that subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. You guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.